I don't think at this point, Dana, you could overlook anybody in this conference. I mean, you've got night in and night out. You're seeing, competitive teams. So I think our guys or coaching staff would be crazy to overlook Wright State. I mean, they're one of the most storied programs in the league. They went to the NCAA tournament last year. They've won 4 out of their last 6 games. They've got an all-league guard. He's averaging 22 points a game the last 5 games. They'll have the freshman of the year and Brandon Noel. They got a good team. They're really good.
I know there's still a lot of basketball, but you're in a position now you control your own destiny somewhat.
We do. We talked with our guys about that today. There's 8 games left. We got 4 at home, 4 on the road. We're in a good position, but there's 3 other teams that are in a really good position too. So our kids have earned that right, Dana, to be right there. And now it's about, which team can continue to get better, which team can be mentally tough, which team can win the game, stay together, catch a few breaks along the way, because all these games are certainly, close games. But it's exciting. I think it's really, really exciting for our group.
Touched on Trey Calvin. How do they kind of use him, Noel, and Davis to attack?
Well, I mean, I'll start with Trey. I mean, he's averaging about 15 and a half shot attempts the last 5 games. He's scoring the ball. He's the second leading scorer in the conference. He's been there. He's been in big games. He's played in the NCAA tournament. He's seen a lot of different pick and roll coverages, so he can play on the ball, off the ball. He's good, shooting off the bounce, shooting off the catch, good cutter. Brandon Noel is one of the better bigs I've seen, come into this league. He's a redshirt. Scott does a great job of redshirting guys, getting them better. They got a great system. He's had some of the best, big guys in our conference. This kid's going to be right up there along those lines. And then, Davis is an elite player in transition. He's an elite, mid-range player. They're second in the country in 2-point field goal distribution, so that means they're living in the paint, and they're shooting a lot of mid-range twos. So that's kind of their strength.
Jerrod, the excitement of both programs. The women's program is obviously tied. You guys are tied. So just can you talk a little bit about the excitement of the community for not only your program but the basketball program?
Yeah, I mean, I think, for a long, long time, I think, really for about 30 years, I think, when you think of Youngstown, you think of, really 2 sports, right? You think of boxing and you think of football. We've got some, so many NFL players, so many great coaches, so many world champs. It's historic. I mean, really, anywhere you go in the country, people say Youngstown, and then they think of all our food. Right? I mean, we've got some unbelievable food here in town. So to hear, around town the buzz for our men's team and our women's team, I think it's really neat. I think it's been a lot of work, certainly by a lot of people. But I think you got to live in that moment. I think you got to rally around it. Our women's team has a fun style of play. They've got great inside players in Lily, and they got great, perimeter shooters. We've got a fun style of play. So I think, if you like basketball, and even if you don't, it's winter. There's a bunch of ice on the ground right now. That's going to, be off the roads here soon, according to the news channels I watch. You guys' news most nights. Why not come down? I think the people that came here last Friday and then the people that came Sunday, I think they left both times with a lot of excitement. We didn't play our best basketball this weekend, Dana. That was a test to both Detroit and Oakland. You got to give them a lot of credit. But, a big part of why we won was our crowds. I think the home court atmosphere has been amazing. I think we're 3 right now in overall attendance. I think with 4 games left, if we do 4,000 each game, I think we'll be number 1. And that's incredible. With wins, with, getting teams out in the community, with your academic success. Part of building a program is your fan base, right? Part of that growth process is getting into those youth teams. You see all the little kids at the games. That's from winning and then an exposure, being out there and putting in the work in the community. That's what you got to do if you want to have a successful program. And, one of the things we haven't done, we haven't shied away from work, whether that's our staff or our players or our managers, and really our marketing team. We've kind of all done it together. And to see it come together, Dana, I said it after the game Friday, to see that come together on Friday night like that and have David Padgett, former coach at Louisville, former player, now a ESPN broadcaster, to say that was one of the best atmospheres he's seen, and he's been calling a lot of games. That's pretty special, and that's going to help recruiting, and that's going to help everything in your program.
Wright State, I think statistically is among the top in the league in defensive rebounding. So just the challenge you see there and how you make possessions count to overcome it.
Yeah, I mean, just let AD and Malik go get them, right? No, I mean, I think part of offensive rebounding is a want to, it's a desire, Joel. But I think one of the things that doesn't get talked about is shot selection. I think if you take bad shots, you can't rebound it. So I constantly talk with our guys about, we want to create an advantage, right? So on offense, you want to create an advantage. That advantage could be in transition. That could be advantage in a half court. Could be on a baseline out of bounds, a sideline out of bounds. I think what happens is throughout the season, as guys play with each other, they understand if Dwayne's open, he's shooting it. If Bryce is open, he's shooting it. Most of our guys, if they're open, they're shooting the ball. So to be able to pursue that ball when the shot's up, I think is, a want to, shot selection, and then really getting comfortable with one another throughout the season. But they're also an elite offensive team. I mean, they're averaging almost 81 a game. They're second in this conference. So we got to guard. It's going to come down to, can we sit down, keep the ball in front of us? Can we guard them in the post? Can we guard pick and rolls? They're an elite cutting team. They're one of the best cutting teams I've seen. Can we, when the ball moves, we have to move. And then we got to play our game. We got to get up and down. We got to play our style. We got to get stops and run.
Last week, you might be getting Shamar back.
He's begging. He's begging, our training staff. I trust our training staff. I said, Shamar, listen, if I had the choice, certainly I want you to play. But they're going to make that decision when he's fully healthy. I would say it's probably 60-40 that he won't play, Joel, but never say never. He's getting very close. He's going to practice. He's been practicing, but, as the week goes, he's going to do more and more.
Adrian goes up against his former team on Saturday. I mean, he'll be amped up. It's a home game for him. I mean, I know he's already played them once, so you got to just tell him to
No, with Adrian, I tell you what, the neat thing about him, Dana, is he played for two great coaches. John Brannon and Darren Horn they're not good coaches, they're great coaches. They've both been to NCAA tournaments. They've won hundreds of games. They've won championships. AD was very trained. AD's been in practices. He's been in individuals. He's been part of winning seasons. I don't really have to say a whole lot to him, to whether it's, not shoot or calm down or whatever the case may be for that game. I don't think so. I mean, I think all of our guys will be excited because, they understand what's at stake. I really believe that. I think the top four teams probably all do. They realize, this is a race that we haven't seen in a while, this late in the season, four teams. Typically it's one or two, Dana. So now you got us and three others that are right there, so I think, all our guys would be excited. Yeah, I mean, the first game, I don't think I said anything to him. I try not to. The storylines I try to stay away from sometimes.